What is a life hack that seems fake, but is a true lifesaver? If your ring gets stuck on your finger, Windex will slide it right off. Worked at a jewelry store for 5+ years. True lifesaver. If you are ever attacked by a dog, push your forearm into the bite. This pries the jaws apart and prevents them from clamping down. If a dog is attacking you, the best thing you can do is offer your forearm, push as far back as possible, and then grab the dog by the scruff of its neck with your other hand to hold it. The dog is now functionally muzzled and you have control of its head. The sooner and harder you push into the bite, the less damage the bite will do. That rubbing alcohol removes chewing gum. I'd go through a 20-layer deep marketing funnel to get to that tip because it really does work. If your car is overheating, turn your heat on full blast. When you turn the heat on in a car, it pulls heat from the engine into the cab, thus cooling the engine. I was taught this in driver's ed 23 years ago. When in high school my buddy's car would run really hot, I told him to turn the heat on. He wouldn't. I had to convince him it was true by saying I would pay for resulting damage if the temp didn't go down. It was the wintertime, and that heat was so dang hot we had to roll the windows down. But we watched his engine temp drop. I don't believe it's especially uncommon, but if no one ever told you, it would seem counterintuitive. Clean jewelry with dish soap. Since other cleaning supplies might scratch it, like hand soap or anything that exfoliates, or chemically react with the metals, usually that's harsh cleaning supplies, and dish soap is intended to clean glass and ceramic without scratching it and silverware without reacting with the metal, etc. Counting really slowly with the goal of reaching 150 is a decent way to fall asleep. If you have any thoughts during it, just let them play out, and if you forget what number you're on, just go from what you last remember. If you make any major movements, just start again. The goal is to force your brain into slowing down and not having any jerky motions or thoughts, and eventually reaching such a level of carelessness that you eventually fall asleep without realizing. Helped me quite a few times, especially with rain sounds. Hope it helps some of you too. If a man is in an accident, car, ladder fall, etc., and he gets an erection, don't move him. He has a spinal injury. Run your wrists under cold water or rub an ice cube on your pulse points to cool down all over quickly when you get overheated. It seems obvious, but I didn't realize it until last summer working in a warehouse with no AC. Also something I learned in the army on extremely hot days on the range. If you need to cool yourself immediately, dunk your arms about halfway between your elbow and shoulder in ice water, probably will need a bucket or cooler, for about 20 to 30 seconds. Then lift your arms over your head straight up and you'll literally feel your body completely cool from top to bottom as it moves down. If you're working outside and it's very hot, just have it ready just in case. It's required by the army once it gets hot enough to have sheets in ice water to cool anyone that becomes a heat casualty, so it makes sense if you're out mowing your yard or doing work when it's hot. The cheapest, most effective, and safest insecticide against roaches, especially those huge water bug roaches that we have in the south, is a spray bottle of mostly water with just a little liquid dish soap in it. Shake the bottle and get the water a little foamy, then spray the roaches. They will run, scrabble, and attempt escape, of course, but they will die. The soap film suffocates them faster than any chemicals will. A friend told me about this, and I thought she was nuts, but I tried it and it works amazingly well. Plus it's very easy to clean up and safe around food. Not that you want to spray soapy water on your food. If you have funky armpits and need to fix them fast, use hand sanitizer. I figured this out years ago when I remembered that the smell comes from bacteria reactions, which antibacterial hand gel kills stone dead. Instant results, and the medical smell lasts only a minute. Don't do this routinely though, as it's delicate skin. Eating candied ginger helps with nausea. Any ginger really, but candied ginger is much better tasting. Always carrying a $20 with you no matter where you go. So many times I've gone to get gas and find out my debit or credit card gets declined. Truly a lifesaver. Write a list and cross shit off when you accomplish the tensiest thing. It builds momentum. Nail polish remover gets permanent marker off skin. You know, in case someone draws a dick on your face. If you start to choke while eating or drinking, essentially they went down the wrong pipe, immediately lift both your arms up in the air and keep them held up for a few seconds. The act opens your airways and will allow you to catch your breath. Also helps food or drink travel downward. My mill taught us this and it's now second nature. If you're in college, don't buy your textbooks until you actually need to use them. I've saved hundreds of dollars by not buying required textbooks that we never used. Use shaving cream as anti-fog. I used it on the inside of my motorcycle visor. Smear it on, let it dry. Then rinse off and dry. It also works for bathroom mirrors. You can use it on a small spot so you can still see when you get out of the shower. Put your onion in the freezer for 10 minutes before chopping it. It freezes the juices just enough to slow down the process of it turning into a gas, giving you a few minutes to chop the onion without tears. I learned this tip from a kids' science show years ago and I haven't had to deal with onion tears since. So many people don't believe me, and then are genuinely surprised when it works. Use a pop socket to hang jewelry on a flat wall, bed frame. I use it to hang my necklace up every night. Sounds stupid, but it's right next to where I sleep, so if I forget to take it off I don't have to get up, and it hasn't tangled once since I started using it. Saves the hassle of untangling a tiny chain. Plus you can't get cool looking ones to match whatever. And depending on the quality, they could last years. Mine fell off my phone case so I stuck it to my bed frame over a year ago. I've had to remove it once, still stuck there, still does its job. Yell at your vacuum cleaner to get your dogs to stop barking at it. Mosquitoes bites be gone. This hack is the most valuable thing I've learned in my whole life. Heat of the back of a spoon with hot water. Then apply the back of the spoon to the bite. I usually do it twice for good measure. The spoon needs to be hot enough to keep on the skin without burning yourself. So test the heat before you press it down. Keep it on until the heat dissipates. Bite will stop itching almost immediately, usually the bite har completely disappeared within an hour. This only works with mosquitoes from my experience. Dawn dish soap is better for cleaning tubs than any bathroom cleaner. Consider that when you bathe you're mostly washing of body oils/dirt/skin. Dawn is so effective at cleaning oil it's used to clean up after oil spills. You can use a small amount and it cleans pretty effortlessly with circles on a sponge. Smell is closely associated with memory. If you're studying for an exam, buy an odd-scented eraser, like pickle scent. Every time you try to memorize something, take a sniff. Take that eraser to the test and sniff it when you're having trouble remembering an answer. If you feel suicidal or depressed, don't focus on hope. It is enough to just stay curious. Curiosity has the power to keep you alive far longer than hope ever will. Curiosity leads to engaging work and this leads to opportunity. Use a wet knife to chop onions. It reduces tears if you have sensitive eyes. It really works. I could barely make it through chopping half an onion without needing multiple breaks before I tried this. Saw it on Life Pro Tips. Just keep the faucet running and dip your knife under periodically while chopping. I still get a little reaction, but nowhere near as bad. Trouble swallowing pills? Squeeze your left thumb in your fist while you swallow. No idea why, but it suppresses the gag reflex. If your coffee tastes too bitter, stir in a small pinch of salt. If you have stains somewhere hard to bleach, like the top of a toilet bowl or a shower floor, put down paper towels first. It soaks up the bleach and keeps it in place while it does its job. This works like magic, seriously. Note, wear gloves when you remove the paper towels. The first time I tried this on a shower floor, I ended up with chemical burns on all my fingertips. If you have a dishwasher, I'm sure you're familiar with the vague annoyance of pools of water being left on your dishes. After the cycle is done, grab a clean towel, and hang it flat on the inside of the door and close gently. Don't slam it. It's okay to be open a crack still, and wait about 30 minutes. Your dishes will be completely dry. Edit: you should do this as close to the finish of the cycle as possible when it's still warm inside. If you eat something super spicy, take some petroleum jelly and spread it on your asshole before you shit. It will keep you from feeling like you shitting lava. Ladies who love sundresses but hate tights, use some underarm deodorant on your thighs to avoid the thigh rub.